The valley had grown calm once more. The river clan thrived under Kai's growing guidance, and the rhythm of daily life, hunting, gathering, storytelling, and celebration, flowed like the river itself. Yet even in peace, the mind seeks to grow. Lina noticed it first. The children, including Kai, had begun to gesture, hum, and make sounds to describe things around them. They mimicked birds, rustling leaves, and the patterns of the river, but their gestures often fell short. There was more they wanted to express, but the tribe had no system to capture it. Lina observed with wonder. The tribe was ready to give voice to the world in a new way. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the cliffs and the fire crackled, Lina gathered the children near the stone circle. "Everything has a name," she said softly, "but we have only our hands and sounds. We must give names to things that live, grow, and move around us, so we can share what we see and feel." Kai's eyes sparkled. "Like the river, the fire, the wind?" "Yes," Lina replied. "And the animals, the trees, the sky, and even our feelings. If we name them, we understand them. And if we understand them, we can tell stories for generations." Ahru watched quietly, understanding that this moment marked a threshold. The tribe was ready for language. The next day, Lina began experimenting. She pointed to a stone and uttered a simple sound. "Ka." The children repeated it, unsure at first, but their curiosity overcame hesitation. "Ka," they said again, louder this time. "A feather." "Li." "A bird." "Ma." "A tree." "No." "A river's bend." Each sound was crude, but it carried meaning. It allowed the tribe to capture what had been seen, experienced, and felt. Slowly, gestures and vocalizations combined. Hands pointed, lips shaped, and the first structured attempts at language emerged. Kai tried it with a grin. "Fire!" he shouted, combining a word with a flicking gesture. The younger children laughed, repeating it, creating rhythm and memory. Ahru nodded approvingly. "This is the beginning of our stories," he said. "One day, words will hold the power of memory, teaching, and imagination." The adults found the task more complex. Naming the river, the trees, or a deer was one thing, but naming feelings was another. Lina guided them. "Fear, joy, love, sadness, these all live in us. If we give them words, we understand each other better." She demonstrated, pointing to Kai's excited eyes and whispering a sound. "Ahru." He giggled. "Ahru," he repeated. A word for joy had been born. Ahru tried the next. He mimed tension, a tight chest, and whispered, "Sack." Lina nodded. "Fear." A word for the shadow inside us. Soon, the tribe could communicate beyond gestures and grunts. They could warn, comfort, and teach one another. Language was becoming a living thread, linking thought, emotion, and action. Ka was the first to combine words into a story. Sitting by the fire, he traced the shapes of a deer in the dirt and told of the hunt. "Ka." "Ma, no." "Ahru." "Stone, tree, river, joy." The children laughed and repeated, then began adding gestures. One mimicked the deer fleeing, another the hunter's spear, and the fire crackled like applause. Ahru and Lina watched, hearts swelling. The river clan had discovered something monumental, the birth of storytelling, a vessel to hold memory, teach lessons, and bind the tribe together. With language came reflection. Lina encouraged the tribe to describe events that had shaped their lives: the great fire, the swollen river, the first hunts. Kai described the river rising, the water rushing over stones, and the tribe's efforts to save each other. Each word, gesture, and sound became a symbol of survival, courage, and wisdom. The tribe began to record history not just in memory, but in language. The fire circle became more than warmth, it became a classroom, a storytelling arena, a place where the past and future met. Ahru added, "Memory alone fades. Words carry it forward. Through them, we will teach children lessons we cannot physically show." The elders nodded, realizing that their tribe was no longer living solely in the present. They were creating culture, identity, and memory for generations yet unborn. The next challenge was naming the unseen, the wind, the stars, the whispers in the forest. Lina guided the tribe, listening to the soft hum of the wind through the leaves. Wind, she whispered. Shoo, the children repeated, fascinated. Stars, she said, pointing upward. Liwa. The unseen became known. Shadows, whispers, and dreams were given voice. Now the tribe could speak of dangers, wonders, and mysteries, not merely react to them. Kai tried a new one for the feelings they sensed but could not see. Ahni! He laughed as the tribe repeated. And so a language of both reality and imagination began to emerge. With words came rhythm. Lina encouraged the children to chant sequences of words. The rivers flow, the suns rise, the deers run. The words became songs. Gestures became dances. The tribe began to see patterns, connect ideas, and celebrate life in a new way. Even the elders participated, humming, moving, laughing. Stories were no longer private memories. They became collective experiences, binding the river clan together through sound, motion, and shared imagination. Ahru reminded the tribe that words could be powerful. They teach, yes, but they can also hurt. Words are like fire, they warm or burn. Speak with care, or they will harm you and others. Kai understood instinctively. The first stories of the hunt, the fire, and the floods would guide future generations. They would teach courage, love, and care. Every word mattered. Lina added, language is a gift. Use it to create, not destroy. Use it to understand, not divide. And always remember the spirits, the river, the fire, and the forest. They hear, in their own way, what we say. Months passed. The river clan's vocabulary grew. Children named every tree, stone, river bend, and animal. They described emotions, dreams, and shadows. The first songs and stories began to form. Tales of the great fire, the floods, the hunter's bravery, and the whispering shadows. The tribe was no longer just surviving, they were thinking, remembering, and imagining. Words had become the bridge between the seen and unseen, the past and future, the living and the spirits. Kai sat beside Lina one night, watching the stars. Mother, he whispered, we can tell everything now. Even the whispers. Yes, Lina replied, smiling. And one day, you will tell stories that travel beyond our valley. Words are the beginning of everything, history, culture, and memory. We are only the first to speak them. The fire crackled, the river murmured, and the wind whispered through the trees. The river clan had given birth to something eternal, the power of words. And with it, the first threads of civilization began to weave themselves into the fabric of life.